Welcome to another episode of Exceptional TV with me, your host, Alex Granger. Today, I'm excited to be interviewing an exceptionally awesome dude. So, like I said, I'm excited to have my business partner, Siphiwe Moyo, with us here on Exceptional TV. Welcome, Siphiwe.
Thanks, Alex. Good to be here.
Oh, grand. Sure. So, share with us just a little bit about who is Siphiwe Moyo. I mean, I kind of know you, but just for our viewers, Who are you?
So, Siphiwe is a guy who was born in Soweto, moved to Granger farm, and found his purpose. So initially my purpose, as I thought to myself, was giving skills to the people who are unskilled. So I'm very passionate about skills development.
Yeah.
But while I was doing that, I was called Mr. Learnerships. I was giving everybody learnerships, apprenticeships and this. But until I realized that, sometimes if you give people something and you don't deal with the mind, sometimes they take things for granted and they're not able to execute that. Yeah. I then went on this rampage to just speak about mindset, entitlement, and so on. But that's me.
But you're entitled to be here, and obviously you're entitled to your opinion. But mindset is a very critical thing, right? Very important, especially the topic we're discussing today, leading self. But in terms of work, business, I know you're involved in the HR space. Share a little bit about that. How involved have you been? For how long? And is this a continued part of your purpose and your passion?
So I'm the current chairperson of the South African Board for People Practices, and I've been for the past 6 years. Yeah.
6 years.
And my second term is about to end. I feel like changing the Constitution.
I thought you were going to say that
thing
for the third term.
Yeah, give myself a third term. So I've been involved in the SAPPP for a while. I've been an HR practitioner for a very long time, and for me that's. Even HR, I've always been in the people and personal development side of it, not in the hiring and firing. That stuff I'll leave for other people. It has always been about developing people. So I'm still involved in that space.
Of course, you're also a speaker, so you travel a bit and you get around. How has that affected, let's say, work-life balance?
Yeah, I balance it quite well. So, for example, when Alex is not available, I get the kids. So it's working very well.
Not true.
It's working very well, in fact. I think most of the gigs that we get are mostly in South Africa, 1 or 2 hotel rooms per night. So it's not hectic. You're at home most of the time. So it's really, really not that hectic. So I'm kind of enjoying it.
Cool.
Big time.
Tell me, family?
My wife Tabang, we've been married for about 11 years.
Wow, it's a life sentence, eh?
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Tabang. It's not. It's good.
It's very good. I'm having fun. My daughter is 9 years old tomorrow, actually. So it's very nice.
Is there a correlation between leading self and leading a child who's 9 years old? I mean, can you learn anything from being a father in terms of leadership skills? Absolutely.
So I think being a father is so amazing because children will hold you to account. I mean, Obakeng asked me things that nobody else can ever ask me. You said you were going to do this. So that sense of accountability, you promised, you must deliver. And so you learn leadership from a 9-year-old that you can't say things that you don't do because your kids will hold you to account.
That's true. So obviously today I said we want to talk about leading self. What is this thing called leading self? I mean, if I'm leading myself, who's following me? Is it just about me, myself, and I? How do you lead yourself? Okay, I'm in front. Who's behind me? It's me again. I'm leading myself. What is this idea and concept of leading self?
So this idea is a very powerful concept in leadership theory, and I have a privilege of teaching leadership at a business school. And for many years, we've always focused leadership on leading other people.
Right.
And there's a theory emerging now and saying, the toughest person you'll ever have to lead is you. Because normally human beings, we cut ourselves some slack, we judge other people harshly, but we are very nice on ourselves to say, I said I was going to do this. Am I holding myself accountable? Am I able to conquer myself before I try and conquer the world? So it's really about being able to say, if I said I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I will hold myself accountable and all of that. So the entire leading self thing is that nobody else is following, but you must still lead. Because sometimes you don't feel like doing the right things, but you must do them. So somebody who knows how to lead themselves, they will do something that they know they're right, even when they don't feel they must doing.
Sure, you've said a lot there, and I'm always interested in the idea of accountability. Like, if we really got real, leading self, accountability, how practical is it? You know, because there could be a tendency where we could relax that because, you know, no one's watching. You know, how do you really become self-accountable?
You know, one of the things I'm learning is that, especially as a speaker, people are tired of being inspired by lies. They want to know that you live the stuff that you are saying.
That's true.
And holding yourself accountable means if you're going to give yourself a goal and say, I will do 1, 2, and 3, you will do it. So that when you tell people on stages, you are also able to do that. And because of the fact that there's so much branding out there, websites are great, videos are great. People want to see beyond the branding now.
True.
To say, is this guy doing what he's supposed to do? So holding yourself accountable means you can say, I said I was not going to eat this, and therefore I'm not going to do it, which is my struggle, by the way.
Don't you find people are always looking for the unknown? They're looking for something, some big words of wisdom. Like, here's a new concept, here's a new fantastic idea that no one's ever heard before. And yet you'll hear some other gurus talking about, can you just get back to the basics?
Sure.
Like, set a goal, put some action plans in place. You know, bite sizes, go along the way, celebrate those milestones. Is it as simple as that, or should we be looking to the universe to say, okay, ET, if you're out there, shower us with some new knowledge?
Look, I believe in getting the basics right. So, I mean, I come from a church background, and, you know, in my kind of church, dishing out wisdom after wisdom is celebrated. Oh my God, did you hear him? Oh my word. And people keep wanting new things, but they're not implementing the simple stuff that they've learned 2, 3 weeks ago. I don't know how many times you've been in a conference where somebody spoke an amazing thing and people said it was nice, but if nobody implements it, it really does not help. So I think we've moved from being just impressed with wisdom and understanding that if you don't execute something, you are doomed.
So how does one then connect with the message and actually bring it to life? Because I always find that there is that disconnect. You hear something great, you're excited for 1, 2, 3 days, and after 4 days it begins to wane, it tapers off. What can someone do practically around that? I mean, or should we just do the church thing and start singing and hope that even just not your spirit and your faith grows, but also the understanding of what you've just learned? It's
the execution. So I'm a firm believer in this phrase, plan light and execute heavy.
And we have to put that under here. Plan light and execute heavy.
Yeah.
Which means?
The difference is in the execution. There's just too many great plans, too many things that you hear everywhere. The difference is when somebody takes a concept and goes ahead and implements it.
Right.
I don't know how many times I've wanted to do this TV that you're doing today. They're still not doing it, but you've executed the idea, because that's the main difference. That's why leading self is about making sure that you do what you said you're going to do, and because well done is really much better than well said. We talk a lot.
Well done, better than well said.
We talk a lot, but can we do? So now when I attend a conference, I take 1 or 2 things that I really want to do, and immediately before 24 hours finishes, I'm going to do that thing. Otherwise, I'm never going to do it at all.
True. So let's speak to young entrepreneurs, young leaders, just started their business, small business, have got 1 or 2 employees, small business turning over, let's say, under R1 million a year. What type of message or call to action can you give such a person?
So for me, I would say, you know what, the grass is always green on Instagram. Forget Insta, forget Twitter.
Move to WhatsApp, because the logo is green as well. Okay, no.
Forget that thing and just work. Many people want the output of success, but they're not really interested in the input. The stuff that is greasy, that is plumbing. They see you later, because I always believe business is about both plumbing and poetry. So we're doing a bit of poetry now, we're talking, but after this you take your jacket off and you do some plumbing, some real tough stuff. So I would
Yeah.
say, you know what, it's the tough stuff that sustains a business. It's
True.
not the speaking, the getting on this nice exceptional
glamorous.
TV. Very glamorous, but this is not business. Business is hard. It's
Yeah.
laborious, and
Yeah.
if you have to switch off that data so that you don't get too much pressured by social media, switch that thing off and work.
Yeah. What do you say to someone who says, well, I've been told to work smart and not work hard? Because my view is you can't separate the two.
Sure.
There is space to be intelligent and smart about what you do, but you still got to work hard. I mean, if you think about a travel agent, if they have to do your itinerary and you're traveling from here to London, connecting to Canada, and then from Canada you're flying down to Brazil, and then you're coming back the same route, you can't just be smart about it and rock up and look good in your uniform and say, well, I know that route. At the end of the day, you're going to have to put down the itinerary, book the flights, book the insurance, book the transfers. Does this adage hold true? Work smart.
I've never believed in it, but I've since been convinced that there comes a time when you have to look at your processes and see that you're not wasting time in things that could be made smarter.
Yeah.
But the hard work is still very important, to know that you're gonna have to work.
Yeah.
Work ethic is still very important. It has not gone out of fashion, but there has to come a time when you take yourself out of your business, if you're a business person, and then look in and see whether there's certain efficiencies that you can implement, and that's the smart part. But generally speaking, we still need to work very hard.
Absolutely. So we're talking to Siphiwe Moyo, professional speaker, chairman of SABPP, and also business partner of mine at Twice Blue. So just lastly, before we go, if I had to put you under pressure and say, what are the three things that we can take away from today in terms of leading self? What are the three things that you can advise viewers right now? And we didn't talk about this, so
sure.
Tough.
So I've always believed that there are really three steps to personal change and leading self. And the first one is you have to be dissatisfied with where you are.
Right.
You have to hate where you are so much that you'll be able to change. And the thing is, nobody can ever be dissatisfied on your behalf. You know, sometimes you tell people,
true, right?
You tell people that you must be ambitious, but they don't get it. They're fine.
Yeah.
You are the one who's not satisfied with where they are, and it doesn't work. So you have to be dissatisfied with where you are, and then you have to have a personal vision. Like you have.
Is that two now?
Number two.
Personal vision.
Personal vision.
Right.
You have to have this picture of where you want to be.
Yes.
And it must be important. It must be clear. It must be very inspirational. And lastly, then you must act. Because no matter how much vision you have, if you don't act, problem.
Absolutely.
So I've always believed in those three things.
That's fantastic. Well, Siphiwe, thank you very much. I'm really honored to have had you on the show. And for those of you who have watched, I hope you've gained a lot of insights from our conversation around leading self. Remember to do the things that need to be done. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on our Instagram page. If you want to get in touch, email us, alex@exceptionaltv.co.za. Until next time, I'm out.